Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Mancia is here with day number 7. Day number 7. We're going to try and get in sound effects and music, okay? Very simple process, very simple process. But the first thing I need you to do is find the folder that I gave you. I believe I gave it to you a couple weeks ago. It's the one with all the backgrounds, objects, ships, and sounds. We're dealing with sounds today, so open that folder up. We got all kinds of sounds here that you're going to play with. Uh, if you got time to download more sounds, by all means, go right ahead. But these are the sounds that we're working with right now. Later on, you can go ahead and grab some other sounds from other websites. All right, so you can do a drag and drop or a um, highlight them all and right Control C, okay? And then I'm going to open up my Unity and drop them off in my assets area. Right click, paste. Right click, Control V. Let's see if it happens. Let me see. I don't remember if it can or cannot. Nope. Unity doesn't let me do it anymore. So let's do this. Drag all these right there. All right. Looks like it's working. All right. So you should see them like this. If you don't see them like this, then you may have done something wrong. Okay. Let's go ahead and get a little organized here. I think I organized you guys at the beginning. So I'm going to get myself organized right now. So I'm going to create a few folders. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to create another one, my last one, and that's going to be scripts. All right, so let's throw all that stuff in there. Scripts first. My prefab bullets. My prefab explosion. Come on now. Then I'm going to throw all my sounds in there. All right, so let's take a look at them. You can hear them when you click on this. You can hear them over here in your headphones. All right, so that's the background music that we'll probably be using. You also got this one. All right, if you notice they're a little bit longer. All right, and then you have some arcade explosions. You got some booms, some laser guns. That sounds pretty good. I think I'm going to use that. Let me see what else. You can use that to shoot. Another one you can use for the bullet. I think I'm going to use laser gun 4. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got to do. All right, so a few things you need. You need an audio source, which we have right here. But you also need an audio listener. You need something to listen to that and be able to place it. So luckily for us, Unity already includes that inside by default, inside the main camera. So you'll see the audio listener here. What we want to do is go ahead and add that explosion to our falling object, right? So let's go ahead and select our falling object, and I'll show you what you need to do. You need to add a component over here on the right-hand side. You're going to look for audio. All right, you click on those audios, and then you want to look for the audio source. Audio source, okay? So go ahead and put that in there. So now our falling object, when it explodes, will have an audio source. What kind of audio source do we want? Do we want a boom? Do we want a low buzz? I don't remember what this sounds like. Nope, that's not going to work for me. That sounds more like a laser. So maybe I'm going to use this boom here. So yeah, I'm going to use that boom right there. So go back to our falling object. I'm going to drag the boom into this audio clip. So every time now that I shoot at it and it explodes, I should hear that audio clip. Play on awake means it'll play when it is destroyed. If you have the loop on, then it's going to continuously keep going. So you want to make sure that it is play on awake. You also have some other options down here that I won't get into because I am not a sound editor type of guy. I can't explain it to you. I can't tell you what that is other than volume. I know what volume is. All right. As far as what pitch means for sounds, no, I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. But you can look it up in Unity. If you really, really want to look into it, you go to the help button and look inside Unity there, and you can ask that question. So let's go ahead and take a quick test. All right. Let's see if our object works. So right now it's not working. So let's figure out why. All right, I think I figured out what I did wrong. I put it on the wrong spot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of this falling object audio source. So remove that component. Now remember, I caught myself. It's a little bit early in the morning. When the explosion happens, that's when we want that audio source to go off. So guess where we have to go? We got to go to our prefab and look for our explosion. Now, this is where we will add our audio source, okay? Audio source, okay? Now this is where we put our explosion, okay? Oh, come on. Okay, lower down. Explosion. Add component, audio source. And then here's another thing. If you keep having that problem where you click on stuff and this goes away, come here. Go to this circle with the dot on it. And there it is. Okay? Should have done that in the first place. And we pick boom. So double click. And there it is. Boom. So now when I hit the thing and it explodes, the audio source is there. Oh, I think I made two by accident. All right. So there it is. Let's test it out. All right, so we got a good audio source. All right, good little explosion going on, okay? So now, we want to add a noise when we shoot. Is it on the player or is it on the bullet? If you guess bullet, you guess correctly. So let's go to bullets. Oh, did I pick a sound? Let's see what I picked. I think I went with laser gun 4. So let's go to our bullet. Let's make sure this is our bullet. Yes, it is our bullet prefab. Let's add that component again of audio source. Okay, there it is. Audio source. And we're going to pick laser gun so I can just drag it in here and put it there. All right, laser gun 4. All right, let's play. Every time I shoot, I should get a sound. Luckily, we don't have speakers anymore. We have Alienware with headphones, so we won't be hearing all this annoying sound like I did 3 years ago when I didn't have Alienware. All right. Woohoo! All right. So now we have two audio sources. All right. See what else we can do. All right. So the next step would be to add some background music. Okay. I got two to pick from. You guys can look for more if you want. Later on, you will have some time to uh, enhance your game. Okay. And I'll explain the rules on that one later. So we got this one. Let me see what it sounds like. I don't remember. All right, catchy, catchy. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, very annoying. So I'm gonna use this one right here. Okay. Usually for a game this simple, we just usually attach it to the camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the camera. I'm gonna add an audio source. Go to Add Component and add an audio source. And audio source right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw acetylene into my audio clip. I do want it to play on awake, and this is a loopable sound bite because these ain't that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and want it to play a little longer than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and select loop. Okay. So now when I turn this game on, I'm gonna have that background music going. I'm gonna be able to fire, and I'm also gonna be able to explode. All right. So let me go ahead and change my layout back to default. Let's take a look. Let's see how it sounds. I'm not sure how it's going to sound on the recording, so if you guys have your volume up, might want to turn it down just a little bit. We have good background music. We got good sound on the explosion, and we got good sound coming out for the bullets. All right. All right. So we got different sounds, all in a. They're not pretty loud, so we should be okay. But when you start adding more than 5 sounds, you probably want to do something what we call creating a mixer. Okay. That way you're able to control the volume output for all of them. Where you would find this is right here under the, make sure you go here under project and hit this plus sign, and you're going to find the audio mixer right here. Okay. Audio mixer, we're going to name it. Oh, excuse me. We're going to name it game audio. So, oh, I forgot I'm cap locked. So, game audio. All right. So that's the name for that. So normally I would want to see this in a tab. If it doesn't automatically come up, in the old Unities it used to come up right here. You'd have an audio mixer tab, but it doesn't look like we have one right now. So what we need to do is go to Window, look for a panel. No. Where was it? Layouts. No. Where was it? Audio. Here it is. Audio mixer. Control 8 will create me a tab for that. Oh, here it is. All right. So what you want to do is make groups underneath the master. So you go to groups and you hit plus sign. So this new group's name will be explosion. We'll call it background noise. Background music. Okay. I want to create another one. And this new group I'm going to call sound effects. Enter there. So now I have the master that controls the background and the sound effects. Okay. What does this do? Well, these are controlled by the master volume controller here. but you can also control them each individually right here. Okay. So what does this help with? Well, it helps with our output. Okay. So let's go back to our project prefabs. Okay, the ones that have the sound. So we know the bullet has a sound, but we want to control the output a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and put the audio mixer label in there. So this is an effects. So we're going to go here and we're going to go ahead and double click sound effect. And there it is, right? You can also drag it. So I have it here, right? There's output, mixer. So I can drag my sound effect. I hate it when it does that. Okay, scroll down right there. And you guys are thinking, well, why don't you just hit that blue dot? Yeah, you're right. I should just hit that blue dot and drag it there. So now sound effects controls the sound effects, right? We put our main music in the main camera. So we can go ahead and put the background music here. Okay. All right. So the purpose of this is to be able to control the output through the master mixer. Okay. Usually you'd have like a whole bunch, right? Maybe your voices, you want your voice activation a little bit louder. You want your sound effects a little bit less than your background music, or the background music not as loud, right? And maybe the effects a little bit louder than the background music. So you can play with these all you want. And these are controlled technically by the master. Okay. Let me go ahead and pause and see what else I got to give you. So this pretty much concludes this portion of the adding music and sound effects. There was nothing hard about that, right? All easy peasy. What you want to take away from is how to add the sound to the prefabs. Very simple. Very simple. You add a component and then you add a visual, an audio. What? I don't know. I'll let you figure that out again. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next portion, which is called adding lives or taking away lives. Same thing pretty much. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I got to do for y'all. I'm sorry. It's going to be called scoring points. We'll do adding lives on our next iteration, which will be day 8. Yeah, day 8. All right. So we're going to go into scoring points. All right. All right. So we're going to do scoring. Usually, when you're playing a game, you usually keep your own score, right? I normally do. Here in Unity, you have two options. You have the option of keeping your own score through the player, or you create a score manager. Um, we're not going to do that. That one's going to take a little bit more time. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to go to the player one. The player one is going to be keeping a score here in the script. So we're going to have to create a value, something that holds value. So go ahead and open up your script, player one script, and go ahead and go to it. Inside here, you're going to create again, like I said, a public int. Let me go ahead and take the cap locks off. And we're going to call it score. Okay. And then when we start the game, we don't want nobody cheating and putting numbers in there, right? So we're going to go ahead and go score equals 0. All right. Close that out. So now nobody can get free points yet. So that's it for player one. Now we have to think about where those points are coming from. So obviously, it's going to be when we destroy those falling objects, right? Right. Say yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and go and prepare that. Let me see if that took over here real quick. Give it a second. So we're going to look for the word score over here on the inspector, and there it is. Okay, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I had to shut my computer down, or it shut down on its own because I forgot my charging cable. Anyway, let me recap. I believe we were doing points. So let me take a look and see where we're at with that. All right, so we're scoring here, right? Uh, Let me see if I did it on the right spots. Okay, so we created a public int score, right? So we're gonna also need to have the falling object because the falling object is involved with this. Okay, the falling object, when it gets hit, it'll happen here, right? So we know that void trigger enter, it checks the bullet, and then it gets destroyed, and then the game object explodes, and that explosion also gets destroyed. So we're gonna put the score points here. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a comment. Score points here. Okay. All right. So we're thinking, yeah, you're scoring points here, but you have the actual scorekeeping happening over here in one other script. So what needs to happen is we need to go ahead and create a function that will call on those points and put those points in the player one area. So we need to go ahead and create a function. So this is where attention to the detail is really going to come into effect. Okay, so you guys pay attention. We're going to come down here. We're going to look for the... So this is the void update. If I hover over it, it tells me, hey, this bracket belongs to void update. So I'm going to go underneath that. Okay, I'm going to create... Well, first I'm going to make a comment. Okay, this comment is going to let me know that score points, which is what I'm going to call my function, will be called from it'll be called from falling objects. Script when a collision occurs. Okay. Let me keep going on my comments. I don't want to stretch all the way out. Between a bullet and a falling object. Right there. Okay. So now let me go ahead and create the void function, the void function, void. And this was going to be called score. It has to start with a capital letter. Points, okay. Has to have paragraphs, parentheses, and has to have its own set of brackets, folks. Okay, beginning and end. Give myself some room. All right, so as you're looking at this, you should have two right now, currently two. If you don't have two, or you have 3 or 4 or 5, then you did something wrong. Rewind that video. In here is where I'm going to add my my code to add score points or add points. Add points. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and add the code. The code is going to look very easy. Score points. Right. This is where we're going. Score plus. Plus equals, and for right now, we'll add only 1 point. We can change that. We can change this in a little bit. Okay. So this is the falling object is going to call on score points, and then score points is going to say, what do you want me to do? Well, I want you to add 1 point to the score. Okay. All right. So let's continue on. We need to save anytime. I like to save every once in a while. All right. So we want to add points. So we want to link them together. Okay. We want to link player one to falling objects. We want falling objects when it hits, to be able to score points, right? So what we need to do is cache these together. How do we do that? Well, let me first create a public game object, and we're going to call this one player. Okay, and close that out. Save it. So now what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and bring the player once it's in Unity. Let's go ahead and let this update. And then once it updates, I want you to click on Falling Objects. All right, so once we click on Falling Objects, you'll see that we now have a slot for player. Right now it doesn't have anything, so we're going to go ahead and grab it and bring it over here. And now the link has been established between the falling object and the player one. So this is an easy way of writing code. We still need some more, but this is one quick way of writing code where you don't have to write a whole bunch of it. So now we go back to our falling object code. We go back down here. We're going to score points here, but instead of writing a whole line of code, we're just going to link it to the player dot send message. So what it's going to do, it's going to send it a message, and that message needs to be in parentheses and quotes. It needs to be a string, okay? And that message is going to be score points, okay? So it's easy just to copy this, okay? That way you get the correct spelling and paste it right in there, okay? Score points. Make sure you close it out. So now it should, every time it gets hit, it's going to send a message to the player saying, hey buddy, I need you to score points, okay? That's what should happen. So let's cross our fingers. Let's go ahead and focus on player one over here. So we should see scores as we start playing. Make it easy on myself so I can score right away. And I'm going to hit that play button. So it's pretty loud right now. I'm going to go into the audio mixer real quick and turn this volume down. So I'm going to turn that down so we don't have to hear so much of the background, okay? Next time. All right, so was it successful? It sure was. I hit it 5 times, so I got 5 points. But, you know, we need to increase that. Say I want to score a higher variation of points up here, or less points when it gets closer, okay? So kind of penalize the player if it doesn't get them right away. So we need to go ahead and change the code up a little bit, just a little bit. So let me go ahead and get to that real quick, okay? All right, so another way to score points, okay, is for us to come up here and create an argument. So int points points to score is what I call it. And instead of just scoring 1, this time we're just going to go ahead and change that to points to score. So now what's going to determine the points will be the falling object. So we're going to go ahead and work on the falling object script now. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Let's go to falling object. And this time we're going to be adding something to this. So what's happening here now, it's going to go to score points, but because score points now needs a value, right? We created an argument that needs a value. We're going to need to add value to the falling object. So what we need to do is go ahead and create a new public integer, okay? And this one we're going to call points. So now we're going to see this take effect inside the falling object inspector. So let's let that take effect. So let's say this falling object here is now worth 5 points. We go ahead and put that here under points. And let's say, and this is just to simulate, let's say we had a whole bunch of them, okay? This one, maybe the blue, maybe we can create a blue one. A blue one is worth 10 points. A red falling object is worth 1 point. You know what I'm saying? So you can make multiple objects falling and add different value to each one. You know, these smaller ones are going to be worth 10 points. Larger ones are going to be worth 20 points or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, larger would probably be worth less because they are easier to hit. So keep that in mind. Let's move on from here. So now, like I said before, we have points here. So let's take a look at our script. Falling object. Oh, I forgot to put a little comment here. These are points. Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? Sorry, folks. Some fat fingers going on here. To be scored. And like I said, this script can go into different objects. One large objects can be a different score. Faster objects can be a different score. Okay, so keep that in mind. I also realized that I forgot to put a comment up here. So make sure you put this will link the player to the following objects. This will link player. This will link the player. Okay, points to be scored right there. Okay, so now when I get hit by the bullets, it's going to go through this stuff right here. First off, are you a bullet? You are. Okay, then I need you to destroy the object, the falling object. Then I need you to explode. Then I need that explosion to be destroyed. Then I need the player to send a message of scoring points. But now, what points am I sending? Because I changed the other script, right? So now I need to add that argument in here, and that is the value of points. Okay, I think I spelled it right. Yeah, points with plural. All right. So now every time I hit, it's going to say, oh, score points, points. How many points is that? It's going to check the inspector, and since we put 5, I'm going to score 5 points. Okay. So that's how that works. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's test it out real quick once it goes. So I should be scoring 5 points from the falling object. Point score is kept here. So let's go ahead and check it out. In increments of 5. If I can never hit anything. Alright, so looks like we're good to go. All right, so that is it for now. Um, Let me go ahead and pause real quick. All right, so this looks good. This is a good stopping point, so we're going to go ahead and call it a day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments to make, please make them here. I will be checking this periodically. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye bye.